Hello, everybody. I want to talk about the energy, the current energy, and the full moon in Pisces, as well as the 7 retrograde planets that we are working with, and try to break it down for everyone to understand a little bit better as to what may you may have these realizations. Maybe it's confirming, or you may be confused as to why you find yourself somewhere, even if it's just in an emotional state, yet again. And Pisces, this full moon, which is tomorrow, as I'm doing this reading, and I will read into it as well. The full moon in Pisces, it is a super moon. It is a blue moon. And this moon is powerful and is very close to the earth, is what a super moon is. So I woke up this morning from a rather intense and upsetting dream. But it spoke to me, and I received a lot of insight from this as far as what is happening for all of us, not just humans, but cosmically at this time. And again, with 7 planets in retrograde, we are recirculating back. See, we're all born into this world, into this life, into certain families, into certain belief systems, into certain circumstances and experiences that cause us some form of trauma. And it doesn't have to be, this trauma is what separates us from our soul self. It's what separates us. It's what has us believing that the source energy that is within our body, that is the creator of all, God, is separate from us. It is a separate entity. It is a man in the sky looking over us, or it's a separate entity from earth or from our being. And so we go through these cycles in life. It forms certain beliefs, certain judgments, patterns of behavior, patterns of thought. And we get a chance every time we go through moon cycles, planetary cycles, a lot of big cycles. Right now, the planets are aligned in such a way at this full moon where it's almost as if it's all clicking at the same time. When this happens, we find ourselves, especially with the planet, most of the planets in retrograde, we find ourselves replaying, revisiting certain experiences that will resurface the patterns of behavior that may have gone unrecognized, patterns of thought, patterns of judgment that were formed in the beginning of our so-called separation, which we are not separate from source energy. We are source energy. This is part of life. This is part of the duality of life. And the main purpose is to reconnect to our source and remove the old patterns. So when a pattern is continuous, when it's not recognized, when it's not healed, old traumas, old patterns of behaviors, old belief systems, and a lot of this has been instilled in us through our family systems, our social conditioning, religions, and so on and so on. When that is not changed, eventually the cycles, the patterns get worse. They get magnified. They become bigger. And we can really spiral down into our own personal hell. But we have this opportunity. We are always given opportunities to break patterns, especially through big cycles, energetic cycles like now. Break these old patterns of believing, of perceiving ourselves and others, and we're really meant to break these cycles, break these patterns. So again, this moon is big, and you're most likely feeling it now in a certain area. The first stage is truly to recognize your patterns, but that's not the end of it. It's one thing to recognize, I see that I have a pattern of telling white lies and just making things up. And the universe is going to bring another circumstance or event to your actual life experience to check. You see that you have this pattern. Are you ready to break it? And that's really what a lot of the experiences that most people are having now. You're either having them as actual physical experiences. Uranus is now in retrograde. That's a lot of unexpected events. You're having these breakthroughs or breakthroughs emotionally, just with yourself, with realizations because of the retrograde energy, reviewing, redoing, all of the re's. Or you're waking up from dreams and realizing, for me, my dream was actually something that had actually occurred in my life. Not exactly as it was playing out in the dream, but it was something that I knew I had worked through, and there were other people involved. However, it wasn't completely resolved with the others, so there's still leftover fear. A lot of fears are creeping up for many of us. Leftover fear that actually could become a reality again, or I would have to work through a situation like that again. But I don't, because if I don't believe that actually could even be true. Do you know? I hope that I'm making sense for most of you. Pisces energy goes deep, very deep. And I didn't even really look at the planetary energies, but that's really it in a nutshell. The intensity of how we feel, the energy within us, our emotions. You could even have moments where you may feel or seem kind of cool-headed, but your body's quaking or shaking. That is the body saying there's something that needs to be released. I need to express or let out something. Grief, anger, fear. So let's get a reading on this energy. Because the other thing that if you've worked through a lot of your stuff, even if you haven't worked through a lot of your stuff, but you're aware of it, don't fear that this is going to come back up again and you're going to have to re-experience it again. There may be an opportunity to resolve whatever it is that you're feeling, you're fearing that you're going to have to re-experience. There may be a little bit of re-experiencing, but the awareness of this really isn't true. I have the choice to turn it around in my mind, to change the story. Change the story in the mind. Change the story. Don't react and respond as I once did. These are always you with you. This is you reconnecting to your true source, your higher self, God. And so that none of these traumatic experiences, none of these fears, none of these worries actually need to play out when we can break the pattern. breaking the pattern, especially when it comes to behaviors. When we're aware of behavior patterns, that's the first step. But the universe is always in cycles going to bring us back around to, practice breaking a lot of people, when they quit smoking or they quit a bad habit, some people go cold turkey, but it's still challenging, right? Others go weaning themselves so they have opportunities of going through waves of cravings before they finally break that pattern. This can be as subtle or as intense. It depends on where you're at in your journey. But understand that this is all about breaking the patterns and the cycles that we are meant to break out of. We are born into them. We were born into an experiences that separated ourselves mentally, physically, emotionally from our true source, soul self. And now we are collecting all of those parts back up, all the fragmented parts, all of the back to wholeness. And it's messy and it's crazy and it's chaotic, but it is also beautiful. And this is how we human beings are working towards uniting back together, recognizing that we are brothers and sisters, recognizing that I see you, I see myself in you, you see yourself in me. We are all one and the same, yet we are also in these individual physical forms, bodies, individual experiences, frames, picture frames, like a movie. Yet we can also see the togetherness. And the closer and closer we get to that unity, to that togetherness, the more we help heal the planet and we change the paradigm, the trajectory of the direction this planet is going in. We have that ability. It's up to us. And I see more and more people, humans, desiring to connect to others, to connect to each other, to connect to God, to source energy. And that to me is a beautiful thing, because that wasn't too many years back where I was witnessing, including in myself, a lot of separation. And we have a lot of distractions. We have cell phones. We have so much. We're just energetically bombarded with things that can separate us from the earth, from nature, from each other. But the urge, the soul's urge internally is so powerful and so strong that it is not giving up. So you may be feeling that fight between the head and the head and the heart, the mind and the soul. That's the intensity level that many people are experiencing right now. So let's see what messages want to come through for all of us as a collective for this full moon in Pisces. I see this as a beautiful experience, and you may be seeing the beauty in it all too. Number sequences, nature speaking to you, psychic senses elevating. If anybody follows me on Facebook or Instagram, that information is in the description box below. I posted things about our clairs, about our psychic senses, because we all have them. I am no different or special than you. Neither are you to anybody else. We all have the same operating system. We just had different experiences and different ways of us being separated from them and having these beliefs and these patterns that were very much designed to keep us in a box, to keep us contained, to keep us trapped. Yet the soul will not rest being trapped. So there's a push-pull that like no other that is being experienced by many at this time. Luck is on your side. And it really isn't luck. However, You know, this is what we consider miracles or lucky, is when you get out of your own way and you stop having expectations, judgments, beliefs. And if you have a belief, believe that something good and amazing is about to happen. That there's going to be love, heart-centered connection between yourself and life. And watch life unfold before your very eyes to bring that to you in ways you could not even imagine. Luck is on your side. It's always on your side. It's just sometimes we're not aware of it, or we choose to see things, choose to doubt. We choose to fall back in line into the matrix, into the downward spiral of our own personal hell. And it takes a few rounds. It takes a whole lifetime to continuously spiral down and have all of that uncomfortableness. And it really is because you got to recognize your patterns, your beliefs, your thoughts, your judgments, your habits. That's the first step. And then the second step is to break free from them and know that there is so much more to this life here on earth than what you were told or taught, and what is actually still to this day taught in the mainstream paradigm of the matrix. Unfortunately, even to children. But children are smart. They can see. They can see. Many. And what do you need to release? What trauma do you need to release? What grief? What guilt? What patterns do you need to break in your life? Are you carrying around guilt? Self-love is one of the hardest things for a human being to attain. I did a video on why is it so hard for us to love ourselves. The ego mind's going to say, I love myself. But when you break it down, do you truly? Do you believe in yourself? Do you trust yourself? And the answers that you need are coming. So through this energy, there's going to be a lot of breakdowns and breakthroughs. Bottom of the deck, we have work through your fears. There's going to be a lot of opportunity for us to replay, revisit, re-experience something that brought up a lot of fear, brought up a lot of anger, brought up a lot of anxiety, doubt, insecurities. And we come back around again for another chance to break through, work through all of that. Let's get a little tarot. We're going to keep this short, but I did want to get that message across because I woke up, when I wake up in the morning with very strong messages like that, I had a very busy day and I wanted so badly to just turn the camera on as I woke up, and I just wasn't able to have that opportunity yet. The message stuck with me. It's like embedded there. So don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. And your body may be telling you. It's important to pay attention to your thoughts. That's really what meditation is. It's not to still the mind. I know I've used that word before, but I think I mean, to stop pulling yourself into a distraction of the internet and your phone and other people and TV and alcohol and food and work, all of these things, shopping, that distract us from what the source within us is saying. Just stop for a moment, be still and know. Witness your thoughts. Just witness them. Don't believe them, and you'll be blown away. This is what meditation truly is, to sit still and witness. Be the witnesser, because you say they're your thoughts, but if you're witnessing the thoughts, who is witnessing the thoughts? And I can expand that even more. Okay? Boy, this is this is very strong energy. So I apologize if it's coming through very intensely, but it is an intense time for all of us. Just a short message for us all for this full moon energy that we're feeling already. We're experiencing, and Uranus is in retrograde until January 21st or 23rd. I get the date wrong all the time. Be the witness. See yourself. See yourself in everyone, everything. See all of your patterns. See the cycles, all of the different characters that you've played in your life. And we can see our growth also. Witness your growth. Well, sometimes we get so hard and down on ourselves, but it's like, stop where you're at now. Think back, where were you? What were you doing 5 years from now? I guarantee you're a different human being than you are now. And we are growing. We are evolving. We are coming closer to being in the heart at all times. Many of us are. Don't compare yourself to others. Be that witnesser. Be that watcher. Eight of Voices. I did a diagram. I wonder if it's in this notebook. Probably not. Five of Inspiration. Speaking about the mirrors. And again, I'm going to push it. Either research, look up the 7 Essene, ESSENE mirrors, or you can go into my website, BeTheChange333.com, and go to the blog section. There's a whole blog on the 7 Essene mirrors. Very important and powerful information to understand. This is ancient knowledge of how we can see ourselves, how things are being reflected to us at all the time, especially in relationship to others, of what it is that the patterns, the thoughts, the beliefs, the behaviors, all of that, and how we can see ourselves through that. Instead of thinking that people are being mean to us, judging other people, if somebody touches you in a certain way, there's a reason for that. Go inward. That's what this card is saying. Be able to see all of the facets, all of the angles, all of the different characters that you have played. As within, so without. And it's not because there's 7, and they're very specific 7 different mirrors. It's not just looking in the mirror and that's me. That's a simple one to like project and reflect back. These are that which you judge, that which has been taken away from you or you've given away, that what you have experienced as your mother, your father. There's a lot there. So I really, anybody who really is deeply wanting to know self-awareness, I urge you to memorize and know the 7 Essene mirrors. It's been very helpful for me. 8 of Inspiration. We have the opportunity to really break a cycle. Again, we have an opportunity to break through to the other side in a big way, individually and collectively. We're all doing this together. This is a group effort, whether you're aware of it or not. Bottom of the deck is the Empress. The Empress energy in the heart, fertile, about to give birth to new life, very in touch with the cosmos, recognizing that all is one. We are all one. And it's like the atom. It's like those, it's like CERN. They collide and multiply, shatter. So we're like one big atom that's been boom, and to all these different shapes and sizes and colors, yet we all belong to the same one whole. And we are not separate from that which has created the all. So this could go really deep. I don't know. I want to keep this short and sweet, but I hope that this is helpful for you. And if you are interested in diving deeper into your journey, interested in a personal reading, you can book that with me through my website, BeTheChange333.com. That information is in the description box below this video. And you're also welcome to read through all the information that's been channeled through me in my blog section for the last 5 years. This is free, beautiful gift to humanity, to understanding the awakening process and self-awareness. Awakening to understanding where I've been, what I'm experiencing now, and what the end goal of the soul is to get to. I know time is not linear. There really is no end goal. But all in all, we want to get back to the heart, get back to love, unity, consciousness. So that's what I have for us all for this full moon. I hope that you find this helpful. And I am sending out so much love to each and every one of you. Good night.